Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter-Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Robert Young starring as Jim Anderson in Father Knows Best, the predecessor to the TV show. This was originally broadcast on March 22nd, 1951.
Mother, is Maxwell House the best coffee in the whole world?
Well, your father says so, and your father knows best.
Yes, it's Father Knows Best, transcribed in Hollywood, starring Robert Young as father. A half-hour visit with your neighbors, the Andersons. Brought to you by Maxwell House, the coffee that's bought and enjoyed by more people than any other brand of coffee at any price. Maxwell House, always good to the last drop. A wondrous gift I bring to thee, bright as a star in a velvet sky, light as a moonbeam dancing by, and I call my gift contentment. It's raining in Springfield. It's been raining, as a matter of fact, for the past 3 days. In the white frame house on Maple Street, close confinement has sharpened nerves to a razor's edge, and tension mounts precariously with each falling raindrop. Dramatic, isn't it?
Go ahead, Kathy.
Wait a minute. Kathy, I'll trade you Indiana Avenue and the electric company for Marvin Gardens. I don't want Marvin Gardens. Daddy,
Yes, Kathy.
how many do I need for the B&O Railroad?
5.
I hope you get a 10 and land in jail.
Bud.
Well, she's got all the other railroads now.
Bud, if you and Betty can't be good sports about it...
Father, I don't mind losing, but she gets the boardwalk and Park Place every game, and what fun is it? Well, what do you know? 5.
All right, Bud, give her the other railroad.
Here's $200, Bud. Put another house on the boardwalk.
You can't put any more houses on the boardwalk. You've got a hotel now.
Well, why cannot, Father? She doesn't know any more about this game than a rabbit. I do, too. You do not. I do, too.
Nothing I like more than a nice, quiet game of Monopoly.
I do, too. Rain. 3 whole days, and all it does is...
All right, Bud.
What?
It's your turn.
Oh, where am I?
North Carolina Avenue. Don't roll a 7, buddy. You'll land on the boardwalk.
Kathy.
I told him not to, Daddy.
4. Well, that's more like it.
It put you on chance.
I hope I go to jail and stay there the rest of the game.
Bud,
Yes, Dan?
it says advance token to boardwalk.
Oh, no.
$2,000.
Bud, I'm afraid...
Jim!
Hmm?
Jim!
What is it, Margaret? What's the matter?
Jim, come up here quickly.
I'll be right up, honey.
Bud,
I have to go upstairs.
you owe me $2,000. Send him a bill. Daddy.
Not now, Kathy. What's wrong, Margaret?
Jim, look at the ceiling. It's ruined.
Jumpin' Jehoshaphat. We forgot to empty the buckets.
All over the wall and the rug.
Come on, Bud.
Boy, what a mess.
How about my $2,000? Don't worry, Mother. Father will fix it.
Good grief, the whole attic.
Boy, what a mess.
Well, don't stand there. Do something. Open the window.
Okay.
Margaret, send the girls up here with some mops. Margaret!
I heard you, Jim.
Well, why didn't you say something? And tell them to hurry up. Water all over everything.
Some mess, huh, Dad?
Just stand out of the way, Bud. I've got to empty these buckets.
Want me to help?
Of course not. I just brought you along to keep me company.
Well, all I said was...
Come on, Bud. Grab a bucket. Don't stand there.
Well, you just told me...
Grab a bucket.
Holy cow.
The worst rain in 20 years, and it has to come when there's a hole in the roof. Bud, throw it out the window.
That's what I did.
I asked you to do a simple thing like dump a bucket of water out of a window, and you can't even do that right.
Well, gosh, it was heavy, Dad, and I only spilled a couple of drops.
Grab another bucket and stop talking.
Did they all run? Oh, Jim, look at this place.
It's going to be all right, Margaret.
Kathy, stop pushing me. Well, I want to see.
Now, is that the last one?
I think so.
All right, close the window.
Oh, Jim.
Now, wait a minute, Margaret. It isn't going to do any good to cry about it.
I asked you to have the roof fixed. I pleaded
All
with
right,
you.
girls, start mopping.
Go ahead, Kathy. What's Mommy crying about? Never mind.
Margaret. Oh, honey, listen to me. This rain's got us all on edge. We're nervous and irritable. But we can't let it get us down, can we?
Want me to do something, Dad?
Yes, put the buckets back where they belong.
Okay.
Margaret.
I hate this house.
Margaret.
I do. It's old and it's ugly and it's falling apart and I hate every bit of it.
Honey, you're just tired. I know it isn't any fun being cooped up here for 3 days, but...
It was bad enough before, but now...
Margaret, there isn't anything that can't be fixed.
I've been telling you for years the house isn't big enough for us. We need another bathroom and more closets and another bedroom.
We've been all through that, Margaret, and this isn't the time.
It certainly is the time. Look at this place. I'm ashamed to have our friends see it.
Well, we just won't let them come up into the attic, that's all.
Jim, this is not the time for jokes.
I can't think of a better time. How you doing, Betty?
We're practically finished. I'm hungry.
Well, as soon as we get through up here, we'll go down to a nice hot dinner. Then we'll all feel better.
We're going to have hamburgers.
Again?
Bud Anderson, if you don't like my cooking, you can arrange to eat somewhere else.
Margaret.
I didn't say anything. All
Never
I said
mind,
was...
Bud.
It isn't bad enough that I have to stand over a stove all afternoon.
Honey, he didn't mean anything.
You're just as bad as he is. Just because he's your son.
Here we go.
If it were one of the girls, you wouldn't be so quick to defend them.
I wasn't defending him, Margaret. I merely said...
The only 2 girls in the entire neighborhood without new Easter outfits. And you don't even care.
I do care. I told you to buy them new clothes for Easter, didn't I?
With prices the way they are today. Jim Anderson, are you out of your mind?
I told you to buy them, and if you didn't want to buy them, why blame it on me?
Janie Liggett got a whole new outfit.
Don't mention Janie Liggett to me again.
There you are. All she has to do is say one word, and you fly off the handle, because she isn't your son.
My son didn't get any new clothes for Easter, did he? You didn't hear him complaining, did you?
I don't want any clothes.
You see?
Patty Davis got a new hat and new coat.
Kathy.
What good are clothes?
Just because you don't care how you look.
I care as much as anybody, but why throw money away on clothes when you can get a gasoline scooter for only... I was only going to tell you...
I don't care what you were going to tell me.
But I'm practically the only kid in the whole school...
The front doorbell rang.
I'm practically the only kid in the whole school...
Will you please see who's at the door?
From here?
Go downstairs and see who's at the door.
A bicycle. I'm practically the only kid in the whole school who doesn't have a joy wagon, and I can't even have a gasoline scooter. You think I was a kid or something?
Margaret.
There isn't anything more we can do up here, girls, so we'd better go downstairs.
Go ahead, Kathy. I have to tie my shoelace.
Margaret, I'd like to explain.
There isn't anything to explain. Go ahead, girls.
But you don't even know...
Jim, please, I'd rather not discuss it right now.
Oh, I don't know. One little accident and the whole world is coming to an end. The house is no good, the furniture's no good, I'm no good.
No one said anything about the furniture.
Oh, but you agree about me. The furniture's fine, but...
Daddy! Keep quiet, Kathy.
Betty, you and Kathleen go into the bathroom and get ready for dinner.
Okay, Mother. Come on, Button Face. Who's a mutton face? I said Button Face. Oh.
Margaret.
I'd better get started on the hamburgers if you and your son have no objections.
You know the way Bud loves hamburgers. He'll eat them until he's sick.
Bud has never gotten sick on my hamburger.
I know. Honey, what's gotten into you? I've never seen you like this before.
Well, if you had rain dripping down on your ceiling for 3 days...
But it is my ceiling. That's what I've been trying to tell you. It's as much my ceiling in my house as it is yours.
Then why don't you take a little pride in it?
Oh, Margaret, for the love of Pete.
Dad,
Bud, I'm talking to your mother.
there's a man here who wants to know if he can use the phone.
Well, tell him to come in. Don't keep him out there in the rain.
Would you like to come in?
Well, thank you very much, son. I hate to barge in on you folks like this.
Having a little trouble?
No, not trouble exactly. Can't rightly call a little thing like this trouble. Just got a little water in the distributor, I think.
Bud, why don't you close the door?
Well,
Ma'am, if you don't mind, would it be all right if we left it open? I got my young'uns out in the car, and if you close the door...
You mean your family's out there in the rain?
Well, what family I got. Just Betsy and little Skip. But you don't have to worry about
Jim, we can't let them stay outside.
Of course not. But...
Mister, we're being an awful bother the way it is. I don't want
Bud, put on your raincoat and rubbers.
If it's all right to bring 'em in, you won't have to bother about fetching 'em.
Well, naturally it's all right.
That's sure neighborly of you.
Betsy!
We're okay, Pa.
Stick Skipper's hat on and bring him in.
Okay.
Ah, she's a good girl, Betsy. Only 8, but she's got a head on her.
Bud, see if you can't help them.
Never mind, Bud. I'll go.
Jim, put your coat on.
I'll be all right. Hello there, Betsy.
Hi.
Come on, little fella. There, I've got you.
Sure raining, ain't it? Skipper, don't say ain't.
One more second and we'll be inside where it's nice and warm.
Our car's busted.
Here we are.
Pa, Skipper said ain't.
Oh, you poor angels, you're wringing wet.
They'll be all right, ma'am. Been wet lots of times before.
Betsy.
Bud, run upstairs and get some blankets.
Okay.
And tell Kathy to bring down her slippers.
You bet, Dad.
Honey, don't you think they could use a little warm milk?
I certainly do.
Betsy, honey, let's mind our manners.
I can't help it, Pa. Skipper wants to know if this is heaven.
From March 22nd, 1951, Father Knows Best on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
You're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Boy, you're going to hear some interesting things here. Isn't it amazing how a family that needs more than you do changes your mind about what you've got? That's what we're hearing here in this episode of Father Knows Best, March 22nd, 1951.
There's one thing you've got to hand to the philosophers. They're pretty philosophical and smart, too. Take Socrates, for example. He said, if all our misfortunes were laid in one common heap, whence everyone must take an equal portion, most people would be content to take their own and depart. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? It does to the Andersons anyway. Like this.
Another cup of coffee, Mr. Matthews?
Mr. Matthews?
I'm sorry, Matt. How about another cup of coffee?
Why, that'd be fine, thank you.
There you
No
go.
reason why you and the kids can't stay here tonight.
Well,
We can find room for them, can't we, Margaret?
Of course.
It's mighty nice of you folks, and don't think I don't appreciate it.
Well, then it's all settled. Betty!
No, Mr. Anderson, please. We've got to be in Plainville tonight, or I won't have a job.
Did you call me, Father?
Never mind, Betty.
We're almost through with the dishes.
That's fine, dear.
Of course, it's only for 2 weeks, but I promised the man I'd be there, and I reckon he's counting on me. Tell me, Matt, would you be interested in a permanent job around here?
My husband's in the insurance business, and he knows a lot of people, and I'm sure if he talked to them.
You know, it's like I used to tell Mary, that was my wife. If there's one thing you can count on in this world, it's people. Don't know how the world would get along without them. That's a very interesting observation, but, look, Matt, you can't keep traveling around with those 2 kids. It isn't fair to them. This business of working in Middletown 1 week and then going to Plainville for 2 more...
Mr. Anderson, there's one thing you don't seem to understand. We're not just traveling. We're going somewhere. But we've got to earn a living as we go, so it takes us longer than it does most folks. That's all.
Well, you don't have to go to Arizona, do you?
No, I suppose not. Doctor just says I'll live a little longer out there's all.
Oh. Well, you didn't say...
We'll just keep moving along, little by little. We'll get there.
I'm sure you will.
Get me a little farm like the one we just had washed away, maybe. Understand they don't wash away in Arizona.
Matt, wasn't there something you could salvage? Some equipment or stock or something?
Well, tell you the truth, there wasn't much to save. We had a lot of bills when well, no sense bothering you folks with any more troubles. That sure was a wonderful dinner, Miss Anderson.
Thank you, Matt.
Say, Dad.
Well, the mechanical genius returns. How'd you make out, Bud?
You know what was wrong? The whole ignition system was wet, and I fixed it.
No.
Well, isn't that wonderful?
I ran an extension out to the car, and I hooked up the vacuum cleaner.
Bud, you didn't take my good vacuum cleaner.
Margaret?
I mean, how could you possibly fix Mr. Matthews' car with a vacuum cleaner?
It was easy. I put the blower attachment on it, and boy, you should have seen those wires dry out.
Now, I call that real smart. I wouldn't have thought of that in 1,000 years.
I don't think anyone would. Except Bud.
And you don't have to worry about the vacuum cleaner either. Kathy's rubbing oil on it.
That'll be nice.
I let her go see that she does a good job.
That's what I like about a family. Everybody pitching in and helping.
Pa?
Oh, better round Skipper up, Betsy. We'll be leaving in a minute.
Okay. Hey, Skip!
Say, I've got an idea. Why don't you leave the kids here for a few days?
Oh, I don't think...
That's a wonderful idea, Jim. They don't have to be in Plainville tonight. Why don't you, Matt?
Well, I never thought of being away from my kids, but...
It won't be for long, just until the weather clears up.
There's lots of room for them. This is a big house, you know.
It sure is. Biggest one I've ever been in. Prettiest, too. I'm not surprised that Skipper thought it was heaven.
Oh, Jim.
Well, how about it, Matt? Will you let them stay?
Well, if it's all right with them, it's all right with me.
Good. Betsy!
We're washing Skipper's face, Daddy. We'll have him ready in a couple of minutes.
Bring him in here, Betsy. We want to talk to you.
Okay. Yes, sir. Mother, that Skipper's the cutest thing you ever saw. He's got jam on his face from here clear down to... What's the matter, Mother?
Nothing, dear. Not a thing.
Mr. Matthews is going to let the children stay with us for a few days. What do you think of that?
Creepers, that'll be wonderful. We can move Bud down to the dam.
We'll take care of that when the time comes. And Matt, you won't have to worry about a thing.
Oh, I know that.
They can spend Easter with us, and then sometime next week we'll all take a little ride over to Plainville.
Daddy, look at Skipper.
Oh, Kathy, what have you done to that poor child?
It's Bud's old cowboy suit.
Well, hop along, Skipper himself.
He's a real cowboy, isn't he, Betsy? He's something. Pa, he got into the jam, and he spread it all over
Skipper.
I'm a cowboy, and I'm going to shoot everybody dead.
I'm sure sorry, folks. Betsy, I told you to watch him.
I know, Pa, but I was drying the dishes.
It isn't anything to worry about, Matt. Kathy, take that silly-looking hat off him. He can't see.
I'm going to shoot Injuns, too.
Betsy, I've been talking to your father, and, how would you and Skipper like to stay with us for a few days?
Daddy! You mean, without Pa? Shoot him dead in the middle.
Mr. Anderson's talking to you, too.
Are Are they really going to stay here, Daddy? Really? Be quiet, Kathy. Oh, Betsy, please say you'll do it. We'll have such a lot of fun.
Pa,
Yes, honey?
who's going to take care of you?
Now, just a minute. I took care of myself long before you came along.
Ma said you never took care of yourself good.
He'll get along fine, Betsy. And we just thought...
We'd like very much to have you, dear. You and Skipper would have your own room, and you wouldn't be out in that horrible rain.
Pa, do you want us to stay here?
It's only for a few days, honey. But I don't want you to do something that you don't want to do. I want you to make up your own mind.
I made it up.
Well, that's fine.
We'll keep going with Pa.
Gee whiz.
Betsy, I'd like to explain to you...
Won't do any good explaining to that child. Once her mind's made up, it's made up.
May I try?
Why, sure. Go right ahead.
Betsy, don't you like us?
I like you fine.
You can play with all my toys, and I'll teach you how to play the piano.
Now, wait a minute, Kathy. Let's not...
But I will. Oh, Betsy, please say you'll stay.
We have to go with Pa.
To shoot engines.
Betsy, it's very cold and nasty outside, and if you stay here, we'll build a big fire in the fireplace, and we'll toast marshmallows.
I have to take care of my Pa.
But, darling...
Margaret, leave the child alone. She knows what she wants to do.
I want to stay here.
Betsy!
All my life I wanted to stay in a house like this, with electric lights and a piano.
Honey.
But they don't mean much if you haven't got your folks, and Pa's all the folks we've got left.
Well, that takes care of that.
It does. March 22nd, 1951, Father Knows Best. The conclusion next on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now the conclusion of Father Knows Best, March 22nd, 1951.
Come on, Skipper. We better get your coat on.
I'll take care of him, Mr. Matthews. Come on, Skip.
Do I have to take off the cowboy suit?
No, dear. That's yours to keep.
Oh, boy! Gonna kill all the engines in the world! Daddy, do they have sidewalks in Arizona?
I suppose so. Where are you going?
I'll be right back.
Jim, if Bud hasn't really fixed the car...
Oh, I think he has, ma'am. It was just a little wet.
Bud?
I'll be right in, Dad.
Betsy, I have a coat that's much too small for Kathy, and I'll bet it'll fit you just right.
Pa?
Well...
It'll be an Easter present, won't it, Jim?
Say, Matt, I wonder if you'd do me a favor. I've got a raincoat that's always been too tight across the shoulders for me, and I was thinking that if you'd take it off my hands, I could get one that'd fit me.
I was a stranger. Thou didst feed me.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Nothing. I was just thinking.
Hey, Mom, what happened to the jam? It's all... Well, where's everybody going?
The Matthews have to leave, dear.
Gosh, what for? I was going to show Skipper...
Would you get Kathy's blue coat like a good boy? I'm sure it'll fit Betsy perfectly.
Okay. But gosh, why can't they stay till it stops raining?
Betsy!
You sure you wouldn't want to stay here in Springfield?
I can't think of any place I'd rather stay, but we'd better be going.
Betsy, as long as you won't stay here.
I can't take your skates.
Oh, sure you can. My daddy says they've got sidewalks.
I can't take them.
But if Kathy wants you to...
You aren't supposed to take something unless you can give something. Are you, Pa?
Take them, baby.
But I haven't anything to give.
We'll give them our love for the rest of our lives.
Matt.
Well, Skipper's all set. How does he look?
Betty!
He wouldn't let me take the guns off, so I had to put the coat over them.
We're going to Arizona.
I know, darling.
Is this the one, Mom?
That's it, dear. Come on, Betsy, let's try it on.
Well, while we're trying coats on, slip into this, Matt. Folks, see? What did I tell you? Fits like it was made for you. They tell me it's just the thing they're wearing in Arizona.
Thank you very much.
There. Now what do you think of our young lady?
Isn't it beautiful, Pa?
It looks much prettier on you than it... It looks beautiful.
Well, if we're going to get to Plainville tonight, good luck to you, Matt. And thanks for stopping by.
Won't even try to say thank you. Wouldn't know how.
Take care of your pa, Betsy.
I will. And keep Skipper good and warm.
Shoot a few Indians for me, Skip.
Okay. And when you get to Arizona, send us a postcard.
We'll write you a long letter, won't we, Bet?
Bye, Kathy. Goodbye. Father.
I know what you're going to say, Betty, and you don't have to.
Does that apply to me as well?
Sure, I'm in a noble mood. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, Skip.
Well, that takes care of that.
Jim, if they break down again...
It's all right, honey. I put some money in the coat pocket.
I hope she likes my skates.
Gosh, those poor kids.
They aren't poor, Bud. Not any of them.
But, Father...
They don't have a house, and they don't have a lot of money, but they aren't poor.
Then why did I give her my skates?
That isn't what your father means, Angel.
But he said...
We gave the Matthews food and coats and skates. But they gave us something far more wonderful, kitten. They gave us one another.
It's midnight now, and the white frame house on Maple Street is peaceful and quiet. The children are fast asleep, but not Margaret and Jim. Well, it's really Jim's fault. Like this.
Jim?
All right, honey, go back to sleep.
Why aren't you in bed?
I just went in to see if the children were all right.
Are they?
They're fine.
Jim, if you're going to stand in the window, please put your robe on. Now what is it?
Well, I've been thinking about the Matthews, that's all. They'll be all right, won't they?
Of course they will.
I was just wondering if I shouldn't have put a little more in the coat pocket.
What did you put in?
$10. It was all I had.
Jim.
Yes, dear.
I put 10 in the other pocket.
Say, Margaret.
Yes, dear.
It stopped raining.
It has?
Isn't that beautiful? All the stars are out.
Again next week when we'll be back with Father Knows Best, starring Robert Young as Jim Anderson, with Roy Barkey and the Maxwell House Orchestra. In our cast were June Whitley as Margaret, Rhoda Williams, Ted Donaldson, Norma Jean Nilsson, Howard Culver, Stuffy Singer, Sheila James, and yours truly, Bill Foreman. So until next Thursday, good night and good luck from the makers of Maxwell House, America's favorite brand of coffee. Always good to the last drop. Father Knows Best was transcribed in Hollywood and written by Ed James.
A true story. Don't be sad or mad or upset about your life, because there's people out there whom your life is just what they've been dreaming about. From March 22nd, 1951, Father Knows Best on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The Overstock sale continues at MyPillow.com. Deep discounts on Giza Dream Sheets, MyPillow original pillows, the My Slippers, half price. I love mine. And with every order you make by going to MyPillow.com/radio specials, you'll get a free copy of Mike Lindell's book, What Are the Odds? From Crack Addict to CEO. MyPillow.com/radio specials, promo code USA.
Hi, this is Kyle Horvath with the White Pine County Tourism and Recreation Board. If you want to get away from the big cities and get back to nature this summer, give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net. There's so much to do and see I can't mention it in 30 seconds, but check out our website and you'll see what Nevada is really all about. elinevada.net or follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, another episode of the soap opera Claudia from March 22nd, 1948.
And now, Claudia.
Time you started humming lullabies instead.
La 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 la. Mama, what are some of the things one needs for a baby?
Well, a home.
That I have. Now, what are some of the other things?
You've got 3 months left to shop.
Exactly, only 3 months. Mama, do you realize I've been going to have this baby twice as long as I'm going to have left to be going to have it?
Do you know what you mean?
Yes, don't you? And in a few weeks, we'll be moving up to the farm, and there are no department stores around there. It won't be as easy to come to New York as being in New York.
Well, you've got so sensible. Is it because you're going to be a mother?
Could be.
Or is it because David has warned you that you've got to stop running around so much?
We're not running, we're walking. And David had nothing to do with it. He doesn't even know I'm out shopping with you.
Oh? And whose idea was it?
Dr. Rowland's nurse. Now, Mama, you know everything. Please, what are some of the things one needs for a baby?
I heard you the first and second times. Well, you need a crib.
I've got that already written down.
And you need sheets and blankets and pillowcases and quilts.
Everything for the crib, I've got that written down, too. Oh, I wish some store would hurry up and have a sale. Honestly, they must think nobody's having a baby these days.
They know you're having a baby, you and a few other women. That's why they're not having a sale.
Well, that's very inconsiderate of them. They aren't any inducement at all.
Then you need bottles and...
I've already bought those things. You sterilized bottles, and it looks like a big Dutch oven.
I boiled your milk bottles. You did fine on them.
You know, it's amazing, but from all the instructions one gets from one's doctor, you'd think babies are born a lot more delicate than they used to be.
Don't you believe it?
I don't. But it's a wonder I don't.
You weren't such a bad baby. You didn't cry very much except at night. You liked your food except when you didn't eat it. On the whole, you were quite pleasant and quite stubborn, and I'd say you haven't changed very much.
Oh, Mama, it's practically impossible to believe that a baby ever grows up to be somebody like us, isn't it?
Yes, it's almost a miracle.
I think it is a miracle. It's all so complicated. I mean, all the things that have to happen from the time you want a baby to the time it's a grown-up person. And yet it all seems to happen almost by itself.
You know that already?
I've always known it.
Sometimes I don't think you're my child after all.
You don't?
Some things you know and you have no right to know. Some things you should know.
Yes.
Well, you know you'll have to buy the baby a bassinet.
A bassinet? What's that?
The thingamajig you wash the baby in.
Oh! I thought a bassinet was a bassinet with a lisp.
Very funny.
And then I have to get diapers and safety pins. And baby oil. And those little undershirts.
And booties.
Booties?
Certainly. Didn't you know that babies wear their shoes to bed?
Not mine.
We'll see.
Knit them in blue wool, Mama.
You have a nerve. You think I'm going to sit around for the next 3 months knitting your offspring clothes you can buy in a store with much less trouble and much nicer?
You're not fooling me.
I'm not, eh?
What else are you knitting, Mama?
Oh, just a few things. But you tend to your shopping and I'll tend to my knitting. Where are you shopping, anyway?
Right down here on 34th Street.
And your list is all made out?
Well, I think so. Except for the things you were going to suggest, but you haven't suggested.
I think you've got enough to get started with.
Of course, I want to get him a few toys.
Such as an electric train.
Would David like an electric train?
David's just a small boy at heart.
All men are. That's why I love them.
Them?
David is all men, Mama.
Don't ever forget it, dear. Well, if it's not an electric train, your baby will be born old enough for a rattle and a teething ring.
Teething ring? I thought they didn't get teeth for ages.
The way you talk, your baby will be born with a full set of uppers and lowers.
Really? Then I think I'll get him a little plastic duck.
For his teeth or for you to play with in the bathtub?
Now, Mama.
Well, here we are, 34th Street. 5 nice big department stores all in a row waiting for you to attack them.
You're coming with me.
I should say not.
You should say not. Why?
Because I'm going home. I've had enough exercise for today.
But the shopping part is the most fun part of the exercise.
For you, maybe. And Claudia, just one word of advice.
Yes?
Your son may be born old enough for a plastic duck, but he'll not be born old enough for a pair of roller skates.
Hey, down, Bluffo. You sound glad I'm home, old boy. And nothing to get so excited about now. Take it easy. I come home every night. Come, tell me, where is the lady of the house? Hmm? Oh, in the kitchen, huh? Claudia!
Oh, if it's not the father of my child. Hello, Mr. Norton.
Hello, Mrs. Norton.
Cold out?
Just right. Warm in?
Just right. Now.
What's that I smell?
I don't know.
Smells good.
Oh, it's the apple pie I baked.
What else is it I smell?
Could be the cheese with the pie.
Cheese? Did you hear the story about the cat who ate the cheese and waited over the mouse's hole with bated breath?
Oh, you fool.
The salesman that told me that down at the office today should have stayed home. Well, it's good to be home. I just want to sit down and forget all about it.
David, you forgot something already.
I did?
Yep.
What? What could it be?
Me?
Oh, yes, you. Hello, you.
Hello, you. Oh, I love you when you come home. I think I love you when you come home more every day.
Well, that makes it worth coming home.
You couldn't manage it twice a day, could you?
Sorry, ma'am. No, only once.
Darling, you look tired.
I do. I don't feel tired.
You sure? Haven't got a headache or something?
No headache. No nothing.
Oh, you don't sound awfully happy either.
Now, how does a man sound when he sounds happy?
I don't know. Happy.
Well, maybe I don't feel very happy.
You don't, David. What's the matter? Something wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. Nothing for you to worry about.
David, if you are worrying, I want to be worrying,
it's a
too.
Big waste of time, darling.
What is?
Worrying in sympathy.
Worrying in general, you mean. David, what happened? Tell me, please. Telling helps. I know it does.
Darling, nothing happened.
You sure?
Cross my heart.
Then what is it?
Oh, I just get sore, I guess.
At what?
People.
Anybody in special?
Nobody in special.
Well, then, for instance?
Well, you meet so many people who aren't fit to be alive.
Who?
Oh, some guy on Long Island. Reggie wants to buy his plant, you know, to convert it into his factory for blind men. Just because the man knows Reggie has money, he's asking the most exorbitant price just to be nasty, to make a big profit out of somebody else. Never for a moment thinking a lot of innocent people may suffer because of it.
Would you have to buy his factory?
This is the 4th one that the same thing's happened on. Sometimes I think the world is full of so many selfish, greedy people. I wonder about bringing a child into it.
Oh, no, David. Maybe a lot of children born and brought up not to be selfish and greedy will change things. Maybe someday there'll be a lot of children who will outnumber them.
Maybe. But maybe a lot of children born will grow up to be just like them.
I'm not going to think that way.
You're right. Don't think that way, darling.
If I did, I wouldn't want 6 children. And, David, I insist.
I know. All 6. Now, come on. What'd you do today?
Me? Mm-hmm. Oh, I spent some of your hard-earned money.
Oh, again?
Not again, still.
What'd you spend it on this time?
Yes.
Something new for the house.
Nope.
Present for me.
Selfish and greedy. No.
Present for yourself.
Me? After everything I've been saying? No.
No? For Mama?
Honestly, David, you're the worst guesser.
Well, you haven't given me a hint.
We've been talking about it almost ever since you came home.
We have? Now, let's see. people.
Go on.
Babies, for the baby.
Go to the head of the class. Now, guess what I bought?
I will not guess one more thing. Darling, this is not a quiz program. I'm not going to win $64, a refrigerator, 6 Cadillacs, and a washing machine, so just tell me, what is it you bought for the baby?
Well, all right. Only
Only what?
I hope you're not going to think I'm silly.
Whatever you bought, darling, I promise I will not think you're silly.
It's not a present for him the minute he is born.
I didn't think it would be.
I mean, it's going to take him a little while before he enjoys it.
Claudia, you didn't?
I didn't what?
It isn't an electric train.
Mama said you love an electric train.
With an engine and a caboose and freight cars and a station and red and green lights and everything?
No.
Well, all right, without red and green lights. Does it really run?
No.
Darling, you didn't buy an electric train that doesn't run, do you?
David, you're going to be terribly disappointed.
Oh, it's not an electric train.
But if you like, I'll get you one.
Well, it's just as well you didn't buy it. That's something a man's got to buy for himself. For his son, I mean.
Yes, I know. I know what you mean. It's something very small, David. As a matter of fact, it's right here in this little box.
Oh.
Here.
It is very, very small. Looks to me as if it would be about the right size for a newborn child. Looks to me as though he ought to outgrow it before he's a week old.
You better look at it. Here, you open it.
Feels very light. All this paper. Darling, it must be the size of a ladybug.
Practically.
I can't imagine what it is.
Oh, David, I hope you'll like it. It cost an awful lot of money. Maybe I shouldn't have. I'll return it tomorrow if you think I should. But I just fell in love with it, darling, and I couldn't think of anything better to...
Right, darling. It's beautiful.
You really like it?
Like it? It is beautiful. It's the purest jade, and it's so delicately carved.
Oh, now I can breathe again.
It is exquisite. Carved jade statue of a Chinese god.
Seems so perfect to me, David.
It is perfect. It holds all the beauty and hope in this world.
That's what I thought. And I thought that if we gave it to our son, kept it near him, someday he'll be sure to know what's most important.
Our son will grow to love this jade figure, darling. And that learning that'll be everything.
And you don't think I was silly?
Silly? I'm glad that you think a child of ours would love this more than an electric train.
Oh, he'll love electric trains, too. And, David, I want him to have both.
He'll have both, darling, because he has you.
And because I have you.
Some homes seem to invite the world and his wife to come in, sit down, and relax. Entertaining comes easy in such homes. The hostess never seems tired and out of sorts. She sees to it that Coca-Cola goes on the shopping list the minute the supply gets low, because she knows that ice-cold Coke is the simplest way to make folks welcome. Have you plenty of Coke on ice? If not, better order a case today.
Oh, Mr. King. So Claudia bought a small jade figure.
Oh, were you surprised, Mrs. Brown?
Well, she was going out to buy a layette. But no, I don't suppose I was surprised. I'm getting used to Claudia doing the unexpected.
Oh, but even so, the unexpected is quite unexpected, isn't it?
It is. For instance, I never really expected Claudia to get so excited about the farm. But now she's really thrilled about living up in Eastbrook, I think.
And how do you feel about it, Mrs. Brown?
Me? I think it's wonderful. I'm only hoping it all works out for them. And tomorrow, Claudia and David are going up to Eastbrook to find a farmer for the place. Do you think it'll be very difficult?
That's hard to say. One doesn't come by a good farmer every day, Mrs. Brown.
No, one doesn't. Well, we'll find out tomorrow, I suppose. I, for one, can hardly wait. Good night, Joe.
Good night, Mrs. Brown.
From March 22nd, 1948, Claudia on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage, classicradio.stream. There you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting, and you can contact me there. classicradio.stream. Please thank this radio station, support their advertisers, and tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.